you look at our communities and you look at, particularly Latino community, the emphasis that there is on beauty, the emphasis, like literally since we're young girls, to look a certain way, to feel a certain way. Some of it is negative, but a lot of it is positive. We put a lot of effort, like going out, it's a vibe, you want to look a certain way. And so as I was going through all of that, I'm like, no, I want to change this. This is something that not only am I passionate about, it's about representation. It's about, putting our people out there. And, again, I think especially, where we are right now as a country, you fast forward and this is so needed, supporting Black owned businesses, supporting Latin owned businesses, people of color, women of color. So, but again, the idea started, like 4 or 5 years ago. And that's really what motivated me. I was like, no, I started with one shade, the red Mamacita lipstick, and made it an ode to, my culture and, kind of empowering women to just feel beautiful, again, through this company that is meant to empower us. It's for us.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you stress that, yeah, it's a crowded market, kind of like jeans. There's so many different kinds of jeans, but it doesn't mean people stop making jeans. So yes. I love the fact that you said, you know what, I'm going to jump out there. Now it's time for us to get some representation. So let's move into the name, Solsis Beauty. I love it. It captured my attention. And it wasn't something that I had to say, wow, what does that mean? No, it got straight to the point. You know exactly who owns this kind of company. So tell me a little bit. I know for me in my travels, in my decades of running businesses, whenever I tried to come up with an idea or a book title or even the name of a company, I was always cautioned to say, but you don't want to exclude people. You don't want to leave out. If you get too ethnic, because people won't want to buy it. I haven't experienced that personally. I've heard it. I've been told it, but I've never had that. When you were coming up with the name Solsis, did you have any hesitations? And what were the kind of the reactions of people when you came out and said, this is the name that I chose for this company?
Yeah. Well, one, I'm so happy that it was, you read it and you automatically knew what it was. So it was a mix of, that name was just, what's most important to me, and what I hope people can always get from this, is that it's not just a beauty brand. It's something that goes beyond that. And connection to me is everything. So connecting with different women it means everything. So when I came up with the name, I kept going back and forth, but there are certain relationships that I feel like in life you meet, and I can honestly say, you found me on Instagram, and just even us, vibing out in this podcast, that's such a connection. It doesn't, people don't really believe it sometimes, and they're like, what, you guys, Yeah. And that, again, is almost something that you can't explain. It's like a vibe, feeling like a sisterhood, a soul, something. The other thing too is that, so I changed the word, like how you spell it, intentionally as well, because I use SOLSIS, right? So I just made it, I'm like, okay, soul in Spanish means sun, right? And sisters, and we're all kind of like sisters under the same sun. And people forget that, we're all, this is again, this is not just an American brand. Like, I'm Salvadorian, so to me it's important to incorporate so much. Also at the beginning, when I was doing pop-ups, before I even had a site, I was also selling handmade jewelry, and it was coming from Ghana, because one of my soul sisters is in Ghana, and I met her here, and then she just picked up and moved. Her family's from there, and her connection, the connection that we have, again, is something that I can't explain. It just is. And so from there, I just was, how many other people can I reach, or can, come in contact with the brand, and so that they have this connection.